All right, section 2 of chapter 10, we're talking about multiplying matrices. Today we're just going to talk about 2 by 2 matrices. We're not going to go any farther than that today, as of right now. What does this 2 by 2 mean? How do I know it's a 2 by 2 matrix? 2 rows, 2 columns. Do you agree both of these right here are 2 by 2? Okay? So we have 2 by 2 matrices. What does this symbol mean in the middle? Yep, we are multiplying today. So I'm going to call this matrix A. This is matrix B. Okay, so we're taking matrix A times matrix B to get ourselves a new matrix here. Now, when we added and subtracted matrices, okay, for example, if I start with A, what did I add A with? A plus E, right? And that would give me my new term, okay? If it was subtracting, what did I subtract D with? I subtracted D with H to give me my new term there, okay? Other things that we've seen, you don't have to write this down. If I had 4 times, I'm going to say a random matrix. How did we solve that? Right, I would times every single term in there by 4. Think distribute to every term and multiply by 4. Okay, so those are the 3 types we have seen, but now we're going to talk about multiplying the matrices together instead of just having a scalar out in front. Okay, so there is a pattern to it. So here, I just want you to look. What do you notice between these? I'm going to ask you this. Are we doing what we do with adding and subtracting, just taking A times E to get me this term? Is that all? That's how we get that first one, right? But is that all we have to do to get that term? No, unfortunately not. So here's the pattern that we're going to do. What I want you to do underneath here, write a little cheat sheet matrix. And then split that up into 4 sections. Okay. What we are going to do to get this new term, okay, we are going to take row 1 times column 1. We are going to take this row 1 times column 1. Okay, so we took A times E, I need to put it on here, A times E to get AE, plus B times G to get BG. Okay, now, does it make sense that we multiply row 1, column 1 to get our new row 1, column 1? That makes sense, right? Okay, because multiplying row 1 with column 1 gives us, if I label these as row 1, column 1, row 2, column 2, it will land us in that row 1, column 1. Okay, so what am I going to multiply to get this right here? What row are we in right here? Row 2, column, yep, row 2, column 1. What about this box up here? This one. We're in row 1. What column are we in? Column 2. And then that last box, we're going to do row 2, column 2. Okay. Again, we are going to get a lot of practice with this. I understand right now if it's confusing, but we are going to get multiple practice problems with this. Okay, so what I want you to have on your paper right now is this equation that I had you write down, okay, and this little cheat sheet that I just gave you that you can refer back to. Okay. All right, we are on example 2, and the first example I'm going to do from that is we're going to take matrix A times matrix B. Okay, we're going to multiply A and B together. So the matrix for A is 3, -1, 0, -2. And the matrix for B is -2, 3, 1, negative 4. Notice how I don't have a multiplication sign in between these two. Is that fine? Yes, because if they're right next to each other, that also means multiplication, right? Okay, so we are multiplying. We're going to walk through this. Okay, I want to figure out row 1, column 1 first. So I'm going to take row 1, and I'm going to multiply it with column 1. Okay, if it helps, circle, but no, you're going to have to erase later. Okay, so if I do row 1, column 1, I take 3 times negative 2 plus, what are my second terms there? What's that? 0 and 3, right? Yep, 0 times 3. Now, for this spot, I'm going to do row 2 with column 1. Okay, so I'm going to take negative 1 times negative 2. And then I'm going to take negative 2 times, negative 2 times 3. Okay. Just to help us out once we get here, there are some things that we can cross out. Okay, do you agree in my new matrix I have column 1 filled? Like there's no more column 1, do you agree? So let's get rid of that column 1 in there. We're done with it. Okay, because now, to get this spot up here, I'm going to multiply row 1 with column 2. Yep, so we have 3 times 1 plus 0 times negative 4. Yep. Okay. Now, do you agree I'm done with row 1? Because my row 1's full. I could also cross that out too. Okay, so now I'm going to do row 2 with column 2. What do I multiply together? Yep, negative 1 times 1 plus, yes, negative 2 times negative 4. Okay. Hard part is done. Now we have evaluating left. So I'm going to go through, we're going to multiply. What's 3 times negative 2? Negative 6 plus 0 times 3. It's okay, yep, 0. And then I'm going to move down to here. What's negative 1 times negative 2? 2. Negative 2 times 3. Yep. To clarify, you could put plus negative 6 here, either way. This term up here, 3 times 1? 3 plus 0 times anything is 0. Negative 1 times 1? Negative 1, yep. And then negative 2 times negative 4? Positive 8. Are we done yet? Unfortunately not. What's the last thing we got to do? Simplify, add, or subtract together. That first term is going to be what? Negative 6. 2 plus a negative 6 is going to get us negative 4, yep. 3 plus 0? 3, and negative 1 plus 8? 7. Now I'm done. Okay, what do you notice from what we started with to what we ended with? Think of dimensions. Do you agree we started with 2 by 2 matrices? Okay, we started with 2 by 2 up here, both of them. What do you notice about the ending? It's also a 2 by 2. Yep, so when you multiply 2 by 2 matrices together, you're going to get a 2 by 2 matrix. Okay, so that's a way you can check. What do you think is super important when multiplying matrices together? What's important during this whole process? What'd you say? Understanding where they go, right? Biggest thing I think is the order. Okay, this can get really confusing and really messy really fast. Okay, so just staying organized is key. Okay? All right. Let's try another version. Here's another example. Now we're going to do A times C. Those same matrices on your example 2, but now we're going to do A times C. So our matrix A is 3, negative 1, 0, negative 2. And C is 6, 4, 2, and 8. So first thing we're going to multiply is what? What 2 things are we going to focus on? We're going to do row 1 with column 1. Yep, so what am I going to multiply 3 with? 3 times 6 plus, what are my next two? 0 times 4. Yep. Okay, there's my row 1, column 1. Now we're going to do what? Row 2, column 1. Yep, now we're going to do row 2, column 1. What can I multiply with negative 1? Negative 1 times 6 plus negative 2 times 4. I'm going to stop and pause real quick. Do you notice anything between those two right there? They both have a 4 and a 6, right? Here's my column 1 that should match up both times. Okay, so that's a way you can check there. And then these two here, that's my row 1. This is my row 2. Okay. Do you agree my column 1 is complete? Okay, what can I get rid of? The 6 and the 4, right? Get rid of that column 1 so you're not looking at it anymore. So moving on, we're going to do row 1 with column 2. Yep, so we're going to take 3 times 2 plus 0 times 8. Yep. What am I done with now? Row 1 is done because it's full. Good. So now I'm going to do row 2 with column 2. What goes together? Negative 1 with negative 1 times 2 plus negative 2 times 8. Check. Do you have stuff that matches up? Yep. Okay. Now we're in the matter of multiplying. Okay. If you want to do the multiplying and adding in the same step, that's fine. Okay. I'm going to keep them separate though for day 1. Working here, what's 3 times 6? 18. 0 times anything? 0. Here, negative 1 times 6. Negative 6 plus negative 2 times 4. Negative 8. And then here we have 3 times 2. 6. 0 times anything? 0. That last one, row 2, column 2. Negative 1 times 2. Negative 2 plus negative 2 times 8. Negative 16. Last thing we got to do. Simplify, add them together. Yep. What do I get for row 1, column 1? 18. Row 2, column 1. Negative 14. Row 1, column 2. 6. And then row 2, column 2. Careful, they're both negative, so that's going to turn into a negative 18. Yep. How can you check? They're both 2 by 2. Yep. Started with 2 by 2, ended with 2 by 2. Now we're going to do those same matrices. We're going to do B times C for our last example together. So my B matrix is negative 2, 3, 1, negative 4. And then my C matrix is 6, 4, 2, and 8. So when we're multiplying matrices, we do it one element at a time. Okay, so we're going to do row 1 with column 1. Yep, we're going to do that one element at a time. What do I multiply with negative 2? Negative 2 times 6. And then what is the next sequence? 1 times 4. Yep. Good. Now I'm going to do row 2 with column 1. Yep. What do I multiply with 3? 3 times 6 plus negative 4 times 4. Good. Okay. Once we get to this point, remember, check what should match.
The 4 and 6.
The columns, right? What you have in parentheses there, those should match. Good. What can I cross off? Column 1, we're done. Yep, column 1's done because our new matrix, column 1, is full. What do I do next?
Row 1, column 2.
Row 1, column 2. Yep. So we do, what goes with negative 2?
2.
Negative 2 times 2 plus 1 times 8. Good.
Row 1, column 2.
Yep, exactly. Row 1's done. because our row 1 is full in our new matrix. Continuing on, what can I multiply for my row 2 with column 2?
3 times.
Yep, exactly. 3 times 2 plus
Times 8.
-4 times 8. How can we check that section? If the numbers match up, right? Column 2's. Good. Now we gotta multiply through. For my row 1, column 1, I have -2 times 6. -12 plus 1 times 4. 4. This section, 3 times 6. 18, -4 times 4. Yep. This one, -2 times 2. Yep, and then 1 times 8 is 8. 3 times 2. 6, -4 times 8. -32, yep. Last step we gotta do is add and subtract them together. What do I get for my first term?
16.
Careful. Yep, that one's gonna turn into a -8. 18 minus 16? 2. -4 plus 8. Careful, one of them's negative. That's going to give us a +4. And then 6 minus 32, that's going to end us with a -26. Did we end with the correct size? Yes, because we started with 2 by 2s, ended with a 2 by 2. Let's try